alongside Messi Akide. She knows what she has to do, and you know, whether there's a foreign coach or there's no foreign coach, she just have to make sure she does a good job.
All right, let's go to Abuja very quickly. I'm told that Cecilia Morogbe will be joining us via Skype, so we'll be able to connect with her and find out exactly what's going on with Cecilia Morogbe. I'm sure Cecilia is on cloud 9 because the girls have qualified. And they will be defending the trophy they won 2 years ago in Namibia. But if Cecilia, if you can get us, we'd like to connect with you. And what's the mood like right now for Florence Omagbemi doing this job on a caretaker basis, so to say, but delivering at the same time?
Yeah, good to have you. It was really wonderful because, you know, before the game yesterday, they were talking about the fact that all they want to do now is to just focus on the game and see how they can put smiles on the faces of Nigerians again. And that was exactly what they did this evening. And they were all so happy and joyful, especially with the crowd coming out to actually cheer them to victory. I was looking at the Abuja National Stadium. The level of the support they actually got this evening was wonderful. And also you have what Nigerian Football Federation, the president, the vice president, and everybody, they were actually there to support the girls. They were really happy because they were thinking at first that, look, the Super Eagles did not qualify for the Nations Championship. They wouldn't want to go through that way. And they had to put all they have, you know, on the field of play. And they were able to pick that ticket, a 3-1 on aggregate for the girls.
Sisi, talk to us about the quality of the football, because at some stage we had a penalty. Oshola lost the penalty, but we were still able to get some other goals. And a lot of people still believe that in Africa, we should be dominating and winning games everywhere. On Friday, we were in Senegal. We could only play out a draw before winning today, 2-0. What can you tell us about the quality of this team and the potentials that they have to go out there, win again in Cameroon later this year, and also make impact on the world stage?
Yeah. You know, what happened this evening, the girls actually played so well. Even the home-based players. I mean, the girl who scored the winner, Osara Nomai, she played for Bayelsa Queen. So it shows you that we've got the talent here. But if only we can actually do what is right. And what is right, when we're talking about the Women's League, how competitive they want to make it and ensure that they resume on time. I spoke with some of the players, you know, after the game, the home-based players, and they were like, hey, they're just not doing anything. They just want to see when the league will resume and all that, get sponsorship and everything. But outside that, the quality of football we saw this evening at the Abuja National Stadium was wonderful. You wouldn't even know that these girls are playing together for the first time, the second time today, under this consortium of coaches. That's what we call them. The likes the Anche, Gina Perpetual Kocha, and of course Florence Omagbemi. I mean, the kind of discipline they were able to instill into the girls. Because yesterday they were talking about the fact that what the Senegalese did was something, they were so physical, and they decided to, like, okay, let's see how we can actually make today's game better. They had to put the ball on the ground, play very well, and of course they got the result that they so much wanted, which all of them were happy at the end of the day. Now, talking about women's football in Africa, and of course Nigeria dominating, I think the Nigerian Football Federation shouldn't just say, because the Super Falcons are dominating Africa, they can go back and sleep. No, they need a whole lot of work to do. I saw the Senegalese play today, and of course, they played very well. It's just that the Super Falcons were more determined, more focused. That's how they won the game. And for Asisat Oshola, she lost that penalty. She wasn't feeling bad. It didn't actually weigh down on the players. They knew what they wanted, and of course, they got those 2 goals after that penalty miss. So if the Nigerian Football Federation know what is really good for them, if they want the Super Falcons to really dominate Africa, because almost all other teams right now wants to beat the Super Falcons. It's like Super Falcons is the team to beat because of how many times they won the African Women's Championship. So other teams are actually coming up. Other African countries are coming up and thinking of how they can actually really, you know, dominate and take this title from the Super Falcons. So now that they've qualified, and this is just April, so they have a whole long time to prepare. If Nigerian Football Federation can start organizing friendlies for the international friendlies, then when come November, I think they can actually rule Africa again.
Sisi, I mean, talking about the Nigerian Football Federation, now I saw the NFF president, Amaju Pinnick, I saw almost everybody, the top brass of the Nigerian Football Federation Executive Committee, Sheyi Akinwumi, Shehu Diko. I saw all of them at that game. From what you saw from close quarters, watching them very closely, their body language, are they still, because we discussed about it just a few minutes ago, Cosmos and I, are they still satisfied with the caretaker arrangement, or with the way the team played, with the way they viewed the game? Are they still going to be looking for somebody to come between now and the tournament in Cameroon later in the year? Are they still looking of bringing someone who will come in to lead this team?
Yeah, I actually spoke with Sheyi Akinwumi, talking about the first vice president of Nigerian Football Federation after the game. He said that's a question for the technical committee. But from what they saw, they're actually happy with the performance of the coaches and what they've done. That left for him, his kind of body language left for him. I think he really wants these coaches to continue. That's what I think, because from what I saw, from what he was saying and the way he was actually smiling, you know, from end to end, and even Barrister Chris Green, I couldn't speak with him after the game because he was in a hurry to leave and all. But I think from their body language, I think they will want to retain these coaches. But for me, if you ask me my opinion, I think from the performance they gave this evening, I think those coaches can definitely stay, and of course they can take Nigeria to the African Women's Cup of Nations in November.
All right, thank you so much, Cecilia Morogbe, for speaking to us. We wish you a very safe trip back to Lagos tomorrow. Enjoy your night with the girls, and let's look forward to Cameroon and hope they can do it again for Nigeria.
Thank you.
All right, so we've been speaking, of course, to Cici, and she's been with the girls, and it's been a wonderful night for the girls. They've been able to do what the guys couldn't do. I mean, what can we say?
And they celebrated well. You need to see them on Instagram. They were just so
posting
happy. Posting those pictures.
You can't take it away from them.
Honestly, even from yesterday, they had that belief. They were so happy.
But it was a very, very difficult game. If you've seen Desire Kwaranoze, she has a very big scar on her face. She was stamped on by a Senegalese player during the first leg and had about 3 stitches on the front of her head, but she was still able to go out there today to play.
Yeah, I actually saw that scratch on her head, and honestly, I felt I wasn't happy about it. And today, all of the players and of course the officials, they actually appreciated her. They gave her some sort of gift. She had posted it on Instagram, you know, feeling very happy that despite what happened to her, that she was still appreciated by her teammates and of course the officials. And she was still able to play, and she actually, you know, tried as much as possible to help the Super Falcons to qualify for the African Women Cup of Nations holding in Cameroon. So I think it's that attitude, that Nigerian spirit there, that belief that, okay, no matter what happens to me, provided my legs are not broken, I can be able to play for Nigeria.
All right, so that's it for the girls. Once again, we congratulate the Super Falcons of Nigeria for qualifying for the African Women Cup of Nations that will be taking place in Cameroon later in the year. Let's take you to Europe very quickly now and just give you the update around the UEFA Champions League. The games are over now at the 2 centers. The games are over. And what that means is that we now have 2 teams in the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. All right, and interestingly, Manchester City were able to hold on to the goal scored by Kevin De Bruyne, and they held on to the end. They qualified 3-2 on goals aggregate over Paris Saint-Germain. Paris Saint-Germain had all the possession and all they wanted to do with the ball, but at the end of the day, the statistic that matters in the football game is the scoreline. City 1, PSG 0. PSG are out, City are through for the first time to the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League. And then on the Santiago Bernabeu, it was Cristiano Ronaldo. 3 goals as they hammered Wolfsburg. They came from losing the first leg 2-0. They bounced back and they're through now to the semi-final. What a result for City, what a result for Madrid. And Cosmos, let me start with City.
All right.
This is a coach who knows he's not going to be with this team next season, but he's been able to achieve a first.
Yeah.
City have never been here before.
Yeah, they have never been there before, and it's a good one for him. I mean, he has gotten to that point where he can actually boast that, okay, fine, I was able to take Manchester City for the first time, the only coach that for the first time would take them to the second round of the UEFA Champions League.